Hello everyone, welcome back to Empyrion Galactic Survival Reforged version 1.9. In today's episode, what we're going to do is we're going to answer the communique from the constructor here. Do we have to get on top of it? There we go. It looks like the power is, I should be able to connect my suit battery to the constructor console long enough to read the constructor's log. Connect a cable from the suit to the suit's power supply to the constructor console. Charging. Battery status less than 1%. Remaining power 3 minutes and 11 seconds. Keyboard activated. Access constructor log. 66 more items. Looks like they had 8 tents, which means there's at least 8 survivors. The rest of the stuff in the collection made pretty stuff. Supplies, communication equipment, and a motorbike and a pair of UCH rider kits. Standard supplies for the journey overland. It looks like they loaded up the rest of the ship's supplies and salvaged what they could carry and headed away from the ship, which makes sense since this place would have likely drawn attention from the enemy if they hung around here for too long. So I guess we should be on the lookout for a pair of UCH riders. I've already scanned the planet for any heat signatures belonging to the UCH crew and vehicles, Commander Stormfall. There's no other members of the UCH Navy anywhere on the planet. However, what I wanted from the logs, aside from confirmation of survivors, was a frame of reference for the inconsistency present in the other evidence gathered from Ensign Emerson and Sergeant Powell's log files. So have you figured out what the problem is, Ida? I'm 80% certain, Commander, that the final piece of the puzzle, so to speak, should be found in the ship's bridge. There's a console there that is still functional but active. So you're telling me there's a live console on the bridge and you didn't tell me to go there first? Why send me to go digging through the dirt and boxes full of dead bodies when everything we needed to know is right there on the bridge? Because, Commander, that console on the bridge is both unshielded and will draw a great deal of power when... Okay, let's skip this. Get to the bridge. Basically, she's telling me that the bridge is unshielded and will draw Xerak's attention, which is true. Okay, so how do we get to the bridge? Let her light the bridge up real quick. What's in here? Anything? If I remember correctly, you can get to the bridge by this outside edge here. Why am I walking so slow? Yeah, you can get from the bridge right here. If I can make the jump in there. No? Ouch. See the bridge console? Alright, what do we got? UCH 011 navigation console. Initializing boot sequence. Operating on reserve power. Battery remaining 63%. Retrieving. Log into Stormfall. Correct username and please try again. Welcome, Commander Stormfall. There's one unread message saved on this terminal. Would you like to read it? Yeah, open terminal. We've done this already before, so we're going to skip through it. And then we're going to get bombers of some sort, I think. Says the Heidelberg is lost. We've been lucky these past few weeks, but patrols have been closing in. Once the forest fires caused by the wreckage died down, we can't stay here any longer, and Ensign Emerson won't last much longer with her injuries. We'll be leaving at first light in the morning, so I'm leaving this message for anyone who finds the ship along with a copy of all related data so you won't be going in blind. The ECH Expeditionary Fleet was pulled off course after initializing a long-range warp jump using the MS Titan's advanced warp drive to jump to Promax Centrine. Whatever. Let's keep going. Several of our ships crashed on this planet after sustaining damage, and we've successfully made contact with several other groups of survivors, and we'll be heading to the neutral station on the far side of the planet where we're organized transportation off-world from one of the local factions. We've managed to compile a translation key built for their language. Andromeda trade station that's attached to this message. Make sure you copy it to your suit. Copy it your suit's hard drive. Set it to the decoupling. Does that mean is the wording really terrible? We were also able to compile a partial translation key for the attacker's language, Xerox Standard, but so far they have refused any attempts at contact. It recommended that you do not engage their armed patrols and avoid the airspace around their installations or risk being shot down. We've already lost a hover bike over an older debris field while scouting to a random drone patrol, which was the last straw for us, so we're bugging out at 0600 for the last time. They have their own issues with the Xerox, so it looks like we found a common goal that'll help us get back with the rest of the fleet. However you are, please be safe and come find us. We need everyone to make it through this and get home alive. Lieutenant Romley, Acting Captain. Copy the files to the suit. Commander, I've been analyzing the flight pathing at the patrol drone. I would like to inform you that it has changed course and is heading in your direction. Roger that, Ida. Shutting down the console. Just one drone? What do you got for me, buddy? Some ammo and some cobalt alloy? I'll take it. I don't have time to read that bottom text. So basically she's saying to get out of here because they're gonna... We got our first lead is what she's trying to tell me. Regroup with the rest of the fleet. Yes, Commander. However, is unable to verify cause of incident. Let's get out of here. From the level of decay of Sergeant Palin's body and the runtime of the logistics unit, I can confirm that with 90% accuracy that 311 days or just over 10 months have passed. How could almost a year have passed for everyone else but me? Cryosleep perhaps? Time dilation? Time travel? Cryosleep is a possibility, but there's no record causing a case of memory loss. I remember everything up to Apollo Station. Beyond that, nothing. Are you saying I would have brain damage? You have passed all cognitive tests I have performed, and physical, mental conditions are monitored by your suit, both of which match your previous medical assessment. Although more difficult than previously estimated, finding the rest of the UCH fleet would be the fastest method to confirming whether, at least now, we have some. Congratulations, we have completed Chapter 1. Chapter 2, The Forest of Stars. After uncovering the wreck of the Heidelberg and the fate of its crew, you set off after the survivors, following a trail gone cold almost a year to the neutral station. They used to get off-world and escape their Xerox predecessors. Ida has identified a populated structure not far. Could this be the station the survivors used? Proceed. Alright. Commander, I have identified a cluster of structures that may have been the destination of the UCH survivors. I have detected faint energy readings. Anything you can tell me about this place? I hate going in blind. The structures appear to be made primitively of wood and stone composite, consisting of living quarters and agricultural facilities. There are several patrolling groups at the edge of their defined territory. The drones do not appear to be affiliated with the structures below, as they're making predictive communications to a facility near the polar region, confirmed to be a Xerox encampment. They seem to be, reach the structure. Alright, where are we going? There's the starter bunker. That way. We're going this way. The story is okay, but I wish they would change it up a little bit every once in a while. Or at least polish it up. And make it worth doing over and over again. My soda is delicious, but I really want some coffee. I'll get coffee after this episode. Can't be the right place. These people live in primitive housings. They don't have the capacity for interstellar travel. It seems you may be right, Commander. Nonetheless, these creatures were not described in the Heidelberg's logs and should be investigated for potential information. It would be best to approach in the times between regular drone patrols, Commander. If they can't help us, it would cause unnecessary problems for them if we were found in their presence. We gotta go speak to the chief. Alright. What's this guy got to sell? Repeater crossbow. Just my legs here. There we go. You ready? Can't read any of that. So your people are the Talon? A lot of gibberish. The chief points to its tapestry. Alright, so he wants... Commander, I have forwarded the location of the tower of something that matches. I wonder what they're supposed to do there. Got any clues? It's unlikely, though. The cameras of the suit, I was able to observe the tribesmen while you spoke with the chief and most of the people in the village. Most, but not all. Should I be worried? I wouldn't worry about it, Commander. The individuals I observed appeared to be both youths. Is there something I need to know, Ida? Is that angry youths will always cause trouble? Alright, where are we going next? Ancient Tower. Take my capital vessel with me. Probably could just fly over here with the thing. You're approaching the tower, Commander. I'm detecting faint electromagnetic readings coming from beneath the structure. There appears to be some kind of entrance at the top of the tower, Commander. Turn off the thrusters. Get out of the ship. Alright. There appears to be some kind of entrance. Okay. Have they fixed this yet? Now they put an elevator in. The design of this structure is more advanced than the Talon village, but I see many similarities. There could be a reason, Commander, but I surmise that the Xerox presence here is the cause of their apparent regression. Yeah, that's the top of my list too. But why send us here? The devices appear to be some kind of holographic terminal and may contain the answers to your questions. There is no power. I'm detecting a low live energy conduit. Alright. Looks like the power is on. I know all lights are displaying. I'm reading the increased traffic. I'm reading the increase in data traffic. Alright. I'm done reading. Let's read the tapestries. Come on. I have the transmission key, Commander. Which Eleon, I will translate the files to your suit's system. I have. What's next? Loading Talon translation key into the HDD. Talon Lex. Talon Lex added to database. Forwarding translation to HUD and audio input output. In the year of 1832, 4 noble Talon have regained the power of spaceflight, and finally returned to the stars. Encountered our first adversary in the form of the Trade Federation, an economic power spanning thousands of systems. Without formal military, they found opposition with our enlightened linear system of equality, and saw our people as both threat and resource. With no military force of our own, we turned to the honorable warrior race, great in number and military prowess. By lacking interstellar travel, and uplifted them to be our allies, and protectors against the economic might of the Trade Federation. With the military and tactical superiority on our side, the Federation's aggression was halted and a stalemate achieved. Seeing no way to be profitable outcome for them, the Federation entered negotiations with our Talon Xerax Assembly to construct a system of codependent commerce between all our peoples, giving up the right to military forces in exchange for our allies' protection from external sources in their place. And so the Trade Guild and the Talon Xerax Assembly were formed. This looks like some kind of historical record. It appears to detail the rise of the Talon and their protectors and allies, the Xerax. From the dating system, I believe this would be some 2,000 years ago and documents roughly 1,500 years of the Talon Assembly history over 800 pages. That's a long time to be allies for them to be in the condition they are in now. I'm guessing their more recent history. The Red Consul is next, Commander. Confirm IDE. Running Talon translation key, Talon Lex. Take a drink of my soda. Porting translation to HUD and audio output, input-output. The red container, okay. Slowly, the silence spread across the galaxy, engulfing everything it touched. No warnings, no transmissions, and no survivors. Gone were the days of peace for the Assembly. War was upon us once again, and the bonds that bound us together burned bright. As the fires of war waged upon the ancient evil of our past, our legacy. An ancient enemy we thought left behind long ago, bound to a dying galaxy with no way to travel the gulf of emptiness between the origin and destinations. Native were for while we were bound by lifetime of memories. They were not. They took the long journey across the expanse with no thought of risk, only the cost of time the journey we would take. To emerge here and now, when we are once again at peace to the form of us, all that we have built again to fight was our only choice, but time and distance served to only strengthen the ancient enemy, and so silence spread like a stain across the face of the galaxy, for where they spread our silence was heard. This doesn't seem to have anything to do with the Xerax. It's talking about some war. Whatever this enemy was, it was strong enough to topple a formidable alliance that had ruled the galaxy for over a millennium. I have found thousands of references to the legacy elsewhere in the database, but little information on their appearance and nothing on their language or culture. They can't have been that effective since this happened 400 years ago and the Xerax are still here. There's no need to know about the dead enemy that we'll never run into. 239 years, Commander. But indeed, the records describe the defeat of the Legacy further on. However, the Legacy were not completely destroyed, merely rendered dormant through the silence of ingenuity of the Talon and Xerax. But nothing that says how the Talon ended up as this. No, Commander. I'm not sure that it would be recorded here as such as As such, an operation would have been the surgical having, leaving no one to update the records in the time permitted. There may be more information regarding that time on the Green Console. You can always come back and read about the legacy later if that interests you. Leave the console. And the Green Console. Running Talon translation key, Talon Lex. Alright, before I start reading, I'm still waking up, people. Forwarding translation to the HUD and audio output. Wait a second. This console only seems to have database of the Talon-controlled planets, food, dances, and other cultures-related stuff. While this is probably what the chief wanted me to read, it's no use to us. Yes, the console appears to contain information about the Talon as a people. Personally, I find it fascinating, Commander. Can you enable the upload connection on the console so I can store these files for the UCH database? You write up find something fascinating? That's the most expression I've heard out of you so far, Ada. One of my parameters is to investigate and document first contact with any alien species, Commander. I'm predisposed to fascinations of alien creatures and culture. Does that mean you're investigating those big spiders we've been running into as well? Of course, Commander. Excuse me. If you would like to know more about the creatures we've encountered, you can review the ecological database in your PDA. I'll pass on that. Thanks, Ida. I'm sorry to interrupt, Commander, but I have just detected the heat signatures moving in on your tower. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry to interrupt, Commander, but I have detected heat signatures moving in on the tower in formation. I was unable to trace them back to their transport half a kilometer away. I was able to trace them back to the transport half a kilometer away. That landed outside my focus. I apologize for not detecting them sooner, Commander. How many hostiles are we talking about here? There are 3, Commander. They appear to have taken flanking positions, 1 on top of the tower to prevent your escape, and 2 preparing to breach. I guess it's time to go then. Alright, so they're gonna come out over here. Can't remember how far I gotta be back away from the red console. They're preparing to breach, Commander. Get away from the red console. Hey. These guys aren't the brightest tools in the shed today. But how I know I was here, there's 2 short range... The only way the Xerox could have beaten us here was if someone told them we were coming. I have a feeling the Talon are not as peaceful as they... Alright, back in the ship. Alright, we'll go talk to the chief. Alright, here we go. Turn off the thrusters. Grab some health. Put the gun away. See, how are they able to grow plants on the planet surface and we're not allowed to? I remember back in the day that you could grow plants outside on Akua. Do. Alright, I'm not going to read all this. I see you have returned, traveler. I hope your journey was enlightening. Of course I do. How else would I purchase supplies and sell ingredients to the traders of the trader archives? Then why send me on this wild goose chase to learn from your language and history? Could you have been told me that I wanted to know when I first came here? I could have, but then you would have both learned nothing for yourself and proved nothing to me. I'm not confident that you are neither a Xerax spy or an enemy of the clan. By the way, what is this goose? Some kind of animal? No, it's an animal, a bird from my homeworld, but that's beside the point. I was attacked by Xerax right after reaching the tower. What? The tower contains a record of our history, much as the Xerax would like to refute it. They would never intentionally destroy such a repository of knowledge as might still be. Okay. What can I tell you, Chief? They blew in the wall to get in and took out the console and everything behind it. The red one, I think. By the time I reached the tower, they'd already landed a safe distance and were making their way on foot to the tower. That knowledge is backed up, so as long as the other consoles are undamaged, then it can be repaired. I can tell you that I can tell you what you're thinking. That someone here told the Xerax patrols where to find you, aren't you? Not put it too fine a point on it, Chief, but yes. It shames me to admit that you are probably right, traveler. You see, a year ago, when the ships of your people crashed onto the planet, several villagers were caught in the fires caused by the flaming debris that rained down across the planet. I ordered my people to go and put out the fires of our settlements and those of our neighbors, then to aid any survivor from your people's ships. To my sorrow, when we tried to help your people, they mistook us for the Xerax and our aid for an attack. We lost many people that night. Several of the young hunters lost friends, family members, and have held a grudge ever since. After I sent you to the tower to learn our ways, our language, to prove you were not an enemy, several of the hunters came to me and demanded that I render you no aid, that instead I should contact our Xerax jailers and trade the information for supplies or weapons. Naturally, I refused. I would be a poor leader to lend any assistance to the Xerax who enforced these conditions upon us. Unfortunately, it seems the youngsters did not like my answer to their demands. Now it seems that they may have done something unforgivable. These conditions, I never did find out how the Talon ended up this way. What will happen to the hunters? The youngsters will be apprehended and brought before a tribal council to determine their guilt. Selling out an ally to the Xerax, I understand. Is there some way I can help? I believe you may meet opposition. On the other hand, I believe some of the other hunters may also refuse the order to bring in the youngsters. I would ask you if you are willing to speak to the head hunters and tell him to call in the hunters at my request. Right away, Chief. If I recall correctly, the head hunter was by the gate when we came in. All right, everyone. This is where I'm going to call this video, everyone. I do hope that you have enjoyed this episode. If you did, make sure you storm that like button. And if you're new here, subscribe for more daily videos. Okay, everyone. Take care, and bye-bye.